This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Well, everybody, today we are going to be painting some Star Wars stuff, and we're going to be doing some Stormtroopers and some Wookiees. I had a tough time with the contrast paints for some reason. They just kind of blopped on, which doesn't make sense because originally I had primed them in gray with the Zen deal with the white over the top, and I said, oh, this would be quick and easy. And it just didn't work for me, and well, I had to make some adjustments, and you'll see that as we go down to paint those two things, and I'll see you guys on the other side of this. So I wanted to start off with a couple of things here. I used a couple of the Army Painter speed paints to try to get this kind of going, and I just didn't like how this one went on. It really did. And what I did originally was I primed these gray, and then I went over with a white zenith, and it kind of fell flat. Now these, it was kind of the same thing. I tried to use the Army Painter Holy White, and it just didn't do anything over the white that I had put on. So what I decided to do, and I'm going to show it on these more, instead of doing that, I took some new oil, okay, and that's, I got that right here. And I went over the top of this, okay, and that seemed to get in the recesses. So now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to dry brush outward to try to get the white. I'm trying to do a real quick way that I can do these, because I'm going to have so many of these Stormtroopers. I just want to do something really, really quick. I was just going to prime them white and then just fill it in, and I was just trying something different, so now I got to try to fix my mistake. So that's what we're going to do right here. So now what I've done is I've taken some white scar, and I've taken it off this old beat up brush that has seen better days, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush this thing until it's where we need to be. And I'm trying to keep some of that detail from that thing. And normally you could do these a little, what I used to think was harder, but I thought, oh, hey, I've got these speed paints, I could really get away with murder. And I end up doing things the way I used to do things. I don't think they worked that very well in doing what I was trying to do with the two different figures. So I'm just going back to just getting it where I want and just dry brushing it, and then I'll fill in the black details later. And just going over, trying to keep some of that detail, especially around the belt, because that really makes them look cool. And then they got their really cool thing here, and just getting underneath and just getting them to a point where I feel comfortable that I can work outwards with, and getting under his armpit there. But that gets like a little black, and boom. I mean, it's just as easy as that. And same thing here. We're just going to start, and if I have to add a little paint, that's fine. But again, just taking, I got a little bit of paint there. I can just kind of work my way over. Again, trying to keep as much detail and not erase it, and just dry brushing that white over so we get that really nice armor, but we kind of really keep that detail that we want to keep on our Stormtroopers. Let's see if I can just pull a little bit more out of here. Yeah, it seems to be coming out there. And just taking that old brush and working it in there. Really just trying to separate. I mean, there's 15 different ways that you can do these guys, and they come out pretty good. And all I'm trying to do is get some table quality so we can have some fun here on the old tabletop world. So next thing with my very dark Wookiee warriors, which I'd used a contrast page, Sigor Brown, and it just made them too dark. And I took some Ushabi bone. I thought that had enough little bit of tan in it, so I can just kind of bring their fur out a little bit. I like the dark color, and I'm just going to go over everything here. I'm not too worried about it because I'll clean everything else up. It's a lot of metallic and the stuff that's got to go in there. But just going over and trying to bring out a little bit of our friend the Wookiee here. And then if I can lighten this up, I can go over with a little bit of a reddish tinge over it. Because, you know, they have that kind of reddish, very light reddish brown type of fur. So by just getting this where I can just get the top and just kind of dry brush this in here a bit, it'll help set the base so I can maybe recover these Wookiees. There's only 4 of them in my unit here, but you know, you want them to at least look tabletop quality. So by doing this, it's helping me a little bit with the fur here. And then we'll see how we can recover this a bit by going over a dry brushed area with another dry brush, very, very light, so we get a little bit of tinge in there. Now there's a lot of armor that we have to work out in here, but you know, we'll get to that. I hope I didn't film this off kilter, because I'm not going to edit it, that's for sure. There we go. So just kind of really just working it in there, and that's not too bad. That kind of recovered what I was hoping that the contrast was going to do. Was, you know, over the white, not just completely just turn it dark brown. I probably should have put a little medium in there. But then again, you know, I'm an average Joe painter, you know. I'm not all pro strat there. All right, so that's a little bit better. So I'm gonna finish up this other Wookiee here, and then we'll come back with our next step of that we're going to do here. Next is just a bad in black, and all I'm trying to do is get some of these like little joint areas in here. We made sure we get the guns, and then I just take the flat edge and just kind of work it around the front top here so we can get the eye holes and everything so they look cool. And just take your time. Take your time, and it'll just really work out well. Boom. Then, you know, you got yourself a little Stormtrooper there. So I'm going to finish these up, okay, and then we'll come back and I'll show you a few more things. Next, I'm taking Iron Breaker, and I'm just going over the swords, some of the metallics on the belt, and just trying to bring those out nicely. The shoulder pads have that silver bit there, and we're going to go over that. Come down the back, the plating here. And then you got the sword, well, the blade here on the arm. So you want to make sure that you get that. So I'm going to hit all these up, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what else we're going to do on our little Wookiee friend here. We're just making sure that we get everything in here. And once I get that on the rest of these, on the other 4, then we're going to come back and we're going to do a little more highlight on these guys. So next I'm taking some Steel Legion Drab, which is just perfect for this crossbow. And we're going to throw a little wash over that just to bring a little more highlight out to it. It's kind of like these little pouches here, and I'm going to do those. And they have a little gun holster, which would be perfect. And then once you throw the wash over it and you bring out the detail of that, it actually turn out pretty doggone good, I think. And then we're going to get the bag here, okay, which you can't see because it's It's in the way, but there we go. We just run that way, run that a little bit that way, and there we go. So what I'm going to do is let those dry a little bit, and then we'll go back over them. And also, I want to take a little bit of that drab, that same drab, and this leader here always has it's kind of like a brown. There we go. Yeah, so I want to make sure that we get that and just take our time there. There we go. And just not hit the helmet. Don't hit the helmet because it'll just ruin everything. And just take your time, and there you go. That little patch there, that leader band or whatever the heck it is, goes right over that Stormtrooper perfectly. Okay, the next thing I did is I took some Necron compound, and I just put it on the high silver, the metallic areas. And then from there, these little backpacks that take a little new oil and just go over and just give them a little bit of depth there. And then go over also the areas here on the metallic areas. That gets in there real nice and gives a little more depth in there, which we're looking to do. You can use a Reichland Flesh Shade or Athonian, not Athonian. There's a couple of washes that you can use that really work very well in there. I kind of just like the new oil. It serves double purpose. Like I said, you can see right there where it just gets in those recesses and really just works things really nicely. And then you can come over and it just gives it that a little more depth that I'm looking for. And then I'll just come over the top here a little bit. So after that, also what I did is I just took some black paint and I went around the bases, because remember I spray painted it. And of course, when I base everything here, I want to make sure that we have that black base there. So I'm going to let these dry, and then we'll come back and I'll base these up and we'll see how they look at the end of this. Well, there you have it, folks. Everybody all based up and ready to go, and I can't wait to get this to the table. Real easy paint job, a lot of fun, and plenty more to come for our Star Wars. Join us every Wednesday when we will be painting things and getting things ready. Each and every Wednesday, we'll have some type of painting video for you. All right, let's go on top and get on out of here. A lot of fun to paint, great miniatures, so much fun. I had a blast with them. I'm really looking forward to moving on to the next set that we're going to be working, and that's the two sets that we have right here, and I'm going to kind of work those two sets kind of into, and that is the Blizzard Force, the Battle Force starter kit, which looks real cool, and the Echo Base Defenders, which I got all kinds of frozen terrain for. So I think that'd be a good place to start to play the game and have a good time. So there you go, guys. We got a lot of work ahead of us, and I'm looking forward to bringing you even more painting videos from our good friends doing some Star Wars stuff, which it only took me 4 years to get back to. So looking forward to it. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.